Hello everyone, welcome back to the Mini Cryptic. Today's clue is bound escapee. That might be EE, or maybe it might be escape or something. Heard admitting crime essentially. I mean, heard sounds like that should be a homophone of some kind. Admitting, there's a lot, everything here looks like an indicator. Where's the definition on the fodder, man? I mean, crime is probably part of the fodder, I guess. So, admitting looks like if a word admits a second word, you're putting the second word inside the first. Or if it admits some letters or whatever. And essentially looks like talking about the center of some word. So, like, crime essentially might be rim or eye. I'm thinking rim, but I'm not sure. But bound escapee heard, or escapee heard, if crime essentially were rim, it would be difficult to admit 3 letters in the middle of something and get you a 4-letter word. I don't think you could use admitting to say add it to the end. It would have to be in the middle. So you'd need at least 5 letters to do that. So in that case, it would make sense for crime essentially to be just the letter I and have something admitting an I. And like escapee, I mean like a con, as in a convict, but that's not someone who's escaped, right? If that, for some reason, were it, we could say con admitting I is coin. That doesn't mean bound, and escapee doesn't really mean con anyway. So what if crime essentially were not both part of the wordplay? What if essentially were part of the definition? Then we have this bound escapee, and I had this idea of like escape or cap or something like that. But that doesn't really mean anything to me. Bound. You're bound if you're certain to do something. You're bound to do it. You are. A boundary is an edge, a border. To bound is to jump or to leap. But none of that really has anything to do with the other stuff I'm seeing here. Bound. Could escapee mean like let some letters escape from the word bound or something? Let the letter U escape? I don't think so. Heard. All right, I'll take a hint. What are all the many indicators, please? Sound a word, a central letter, place one part inside another. Yeah, so okay, a central letter, the I. So the I is going inside of something. And we're supposed to hear something. Escapee. Oh! I'm not looking for a word that means escapee that you could hear differently. I'm supposed to hear escapee itself differently. And in particular, not hear it as a word at all, but hear it as SKP, and then put an I inside that. To skip is to bound. I see. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.